one from Korea and one from Spain. And I believe we are set to bring our archers out. And here they come. On the right part of your screen is Imduna from Korea and Ilia Canales from Spain. And Crystal Gavin on the world archery scene.
Representing the Republic
we know
of
that
Korea,
Imduna not ranked, so it's great to see Imduna here. And Canales, number 32 ranked in World Archery Competition. Big smiles from our archers. Talk about the pressure they're under right now, under the lights in front of this huge crowd.
Yeah, for the Korean, it's nothing new. They're used to pressure. Everything they do is under pressure, but for Spain, we'll see how she does.
All right, tell us about the distance, the target face, and how we're going to score this match.
All right, so these archers are going to be shooting 18 meters, which is roughly 20 yards. They're shooting at a 40-centimeter triangle face target, so we see 3 separate targets. They put 1 arrow in each of those target faces. And the scoring on recurve is set scoring, which means 2 points for a win for the 3-arrow total, 1 point for a tie, and 0 if you lose the set. First to 6 wins the match.
First to 6. And it's going to be Imduna who sets us off. There's a 20-second shot clock for each arrow.
10.
Great shot. That's also good to understand that her sight is set for this lighting.
10.
And just like that, you could see that Ilia grabbed a click on her sight.
Yeah, and one thing with recurve that can be a little tough in this setting is seeing your string, which is important for alignment under these big lights. And they're both coming out firing.
Don't seem to have any nerves whatsoever.
10, 10, 10. Perfect score.
Perfect score for Imduna.
Oh, 10, 10, 10.
And just like that.
Perfect score.
So perfect score. So 30 points apiece for these archers, which means they're going to split 1 set point each. And like you said, Crystal, first archer to 6 wins. But what happens if we go 5-5?
Shoot off, my favorite.
And we'll talk about that if we get to that in this Indoor Archery World Series final gold medal match for women's recurve. Replay, let's take a look at what you're seeing, Crystal.
So it's a close-up of her plunger and the arrow. We can't see the clicker on the other side, but super clean release there.
And of course, during the course of the evening, we're going to see different diameter arrows because that arrow is pretty much the smallest arrow that we see.
Are going to be shooting what's typically deemed an outdoor arrow on for the compounders, but you see a lot of recurvers going to shoot these skinny arrows.
And a lot of that has to do with the cycle we're in as it relates to the Olympics, I would imagine. This is a qualification year for a lot of Olympians. Another 10.
Nine.
Just outside left into the 9 ring. There's a groan from the crowd, and you can see that Ilia responding.
Yeah, some of these archers aren't going to be used to that. If you shoot in other countries, this is pretty typical to what you're going to experience.
9.
Another big yell, actually, from the crowd.
Oh, 10, 10, 10. Perfect
Another
score.
perfect score. For this shot. Needs to be taken.
9.
And now, it's a little 9 out left, so let's talk about when is it appropriate to start grabbing clicks, right? Because it might be you, might be the site.
My theory is you move it. If you're in a medal match, you just want to score points. You don't care if it's you, if you're struggling with something, you move that site.
Well, here in Las Vegas, Nevada, set scoring system in women's recurve. Imduna is up 3-1.
So that was a great close-up of her arrow going through the clicker there.
What's the clicker?
The clicker is that little piece you see that the arrow's tucked underneath, and that's essentially to tell the archer their draw line goes around the arrow. That's when they release.
Critical, because with recurve archery, the more you pull back, the more poundage you're pulling back. So if you're pulling back at different distances, the arrow is going to land in different spots, correct?
Exactly. It's not like compound where we have a solid wall that you're stuck at a set distance.
3-1. The Spaniard, Canales, starts us off, needing to put the pressure on with a 10. Now another click of the sight, but it caught the bottom. Crystal will explain how that scores in a moment. Ooh, see that one went just outside.
It does, yes. So all you have to do is touch that line to get the higher scoring arrow. Otherwise, it's the lower scoring arrow.
Elia. More pressure.
10.
No question about that 10.
No, but both of those are a little low and right.
There it is, 10-10-10, perfect score.
Okay, so a 10-10-10 for Canales. Okay, so a 10. So now we're going to have to see what a judge has to say, because we have a 9 asterisk on the score, which means that from our vantage point, it looks like a judge is really going to have to get up close and make the call. So either we're going to go tied at 3-3, or we're going to go to a 4-1 situation or 4-2 situation. Looks kind of out to me.
Yeah, I don't think you can call that in from here.
We're going to tie the situation. Is it a 9? Or is it
Look at that bow hand. And Crystal, as we look at the Korean archer, I mean, Korea is just known for a system that just is so consistent. Now, each archer has different timing of it, but the release all looks like
You see out of the Koreans.
So we're all tied up, 3 set points apiece. The first to 6 wins. If we go 5-5, we're going to a shoot-off. With back to the line, 18 meters downrange is a 40-centimeter target face. A 3-spot, as we call it in archery. And after losing that end, it is Imduna who leads us off.
10.
Not only is that a 10, that's an X. Caught the 10 line.
10.
So we've been shooting this triangle
10.
target all weekend, but typically in World Archery you would see a vertical 3-spot, which would be the 3 spots on top of one another. So this is a little bit different format than what most of the international shooters are going to be used to shooting.
This is the gold medal match that we want to see, especially for the Indoor Archery World Series Finals.
Oh, 10-10-10, perfect score. Nine. Oh, the pressure shot there. Arrow number 3 on target number 2 as Im gets inches closer to the finish line.
So
and to a gold medal out here.
it looks like that 10-10-10 by Imduna is going to get it. And Crystal, just doing some quick research, it has been, World Archery has changed the indoor now. Everybody shoots the 3 spots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Show some appreciation for Spain's very own Elia Canales.
gold medal match is just a little bit of a bobble, and there is that typical Korean release. Imduna actually shredding right now. You can see the difference in those releases too. The full. All right, so now the situation is 5 set points to 3. It's the first to 6 or more. So if Imduna wins this one, it would be 7-3. However, this is an opportunity for Canales to come back and tie this thing up and take it to Crystal Gavin's favorite.
But she's got to win this set because a tie here will give the win to the Korean.
Nine.
Ooh, and that might be the way that Imduna has been shooting.
Nine.
Okay. As the crowd just
the crowd is just
behind us. They're into it.
10.
Exactly what she needed.
Beautiful X.
10.
Like you said, Crystal, I mean, there has to be a 10 here for any chance to move forward.
9.
Nope. This for the gold medal.
So 9 or better.
10.
And she gets a 10.
Over,
and it's going to be 7-3 win and a gold medal for Imduna from Korea over Elia Canales. What a great match that was. I don't think the 7-3 really reflects what a great match that was.
No, that was really solid shooting on both sides.
The story of set number 3, looking at the boards here.
Officially, we wait for the word as the judges are down at the targets confirming what we can see. But of course, the archers know what happened. And it's official now. The call has been made. And it is Imduna who takes gold and is the Indoor Archery World Series Final Women's Recurve champion.
The intensity there of the very first matchup.
That also means that Elia Canales from Spain will be your silver medalist. And Park So-min, bronze medal, will stand on the podium with them later on. Quite a match to kick us off. Archers came out under the lights, all smiles and I'm sure a lot of nerves. But it was all about that shot execution. Getting that arrow through the clicker and getting it 18 meters downrange and trying to find that middle. Very few points dropped in that match by Imduna.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after a short break, we will
that
continue with
netted her a gold medal.
For the recurve men, featuring the Republic of Korea's Kim Dil-jong up against the Netherlands' Steve Weiler. And archery fans, please remember to stick around after tonight's matches and medal ceremonies for a chance to.
All right, so we have another match coming up, our second of 4 from the Indoor Archery World Series Finals here at the South Point Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wrapping up the indoor season. I'm Greg White, sitting alongside Crystal Gavin, who for a long while was ranked number 2 in compound, and then back in 2016, you started chasing your recurve dreams for the Olympics and was very successful here in the United States. Now we find you back in compound, don't we?
Yes, you do.
And how's it going?
Let's see, it's going. I have to remember how to shoot a compound again, that's for sure. It's funny how recurve and compound are two very different disciplines for sure.
Yeah, just in the way you execute everything. And so after all that work, to get back to compound, I know that it's going to take a little bit of work, but you'll be right back up to where you were just a couple years ago. Great crowd on hand as we have over 3,900 shooters that registered to shoot the Vegas shoot, which of course here at the Indoor Archery World Series Finals is nestled right in the middle of a 3-day weekend. And Saturday night, this is a big one And here at the South Point Hotel and Casino,
Right,
our feed gets streamed to rooms and TVs all over the place.
And please welcome the coaches
and we are getting ready for our second match of the evening, which will be recurve men, where we had our number 9 qualifier in that final 16 and the number 11 qualifier. So a little bit shocking in recurve, but it also shows how it works with the set point system. We'll talk more about that in a moment. And here come the athletes to the field of play. It's Kim Pil-Jung versus Steve Weiler. And of course, Steve Weiler, very popular and well-known, ranked 13th in the world. And Crystal, for Steve Weiler, he's had 106 world archery matches in his career, and he's won 69% of them.
Those aren't bad odds.
Yeah, those aren't bad.
Kim Pil-Jung.
So Kim Pil-Jung has had a great tournament so far. As for Steve Weiler, not typically see him in the 11th seed coming into this, but there's a lot to how many archers participated in some of the other rounds. Strassen and Taipei and Nîmes as well. This is our 4th round in our finals for the Indoor Archery World Series.
A lot has to do with if you can only make 1 or 2 events, you could win, but you may be a lower seed because you didn't make it to all 4 events.
Well, there it is. The 22-year-old archer from the Republic of Korea will get us underway on target number 1 for a gold medal in the recurve men category. The first time.
Kim Pil-Jung, of course, representing Hyundai Steel, which has churned out some incredible Olympians. Of course, archery, one of the most popular sports in Korea. Recognized throughout the world, some of the top athletes in archery.
10.
Starts off with a 10. Just a little bit lower than where he wanted it. Way to match it for Steve Weiler from the Netherlands.
9.
So we saw a little bobble on that right before he released the shot.
Nerves, you think?
Hard to say. Could have just been his pin was moving around and he tried to correct. Could be some nerves, you never know.
Nine.
Perfect 10-10-10 for Steve Weiler. Let's talk about that 10-9-9. Let's talk about how we score this match and why it's not the end of the world right now.
No, it's not. In recurve, we do set scoring, so 2 points to win a 3-arrow set, 1 point if you tie, and 0 if you lose, and it's 1st to 6. So we're just at 2-0. So plenty of time to make up ground. It doesn't really matter what your arrow values are.
Looking at Steve Weiler, incredible the way those arrows are hitting. I mean, if you look at the impact, the left and right's nearly identical. The up-down was only a couple of millimeters. So Weiler is dialed in. And this is Kim.
Well, we do recall when he exploded onto the international scene back in Shanghai.
And you'll see a much more passive release out of the Korean than you typically would see, whereas Steve, you see a much more aggressive release out of him.
So 2 set points to 0, 1st to 6 wins. Steve Weiler from the Netherlands leads the way. He will shoot second. 10-10 apiece.
Much quicker shot that time from him, you notice, and right in the middle it was an X.
Perhaps the pacing, his pacing, normal. We'll see over these next couple shots.
10.
There's a 20-second shot clock. Once the arrow impacts the target, 20 seconds starts for the competitor. Weiler was down to 4 seconds.
Oh, 10, 10, 10. Perfect score.
I could see it, Crystal. So in that particular instance, Kim had 9 seconds remaining, so the shot process is a lot quicker.
You could see that. I think you don't have to know anything about recurve archery to know where that was headed.
Yeah, we call that English, giving it English.
In terms of the gold medal matchup.
Why does that happen? I mean, it looked like he was holding completely steady, but why does something like that actually happen?
You know, the bow moves, your arm moves, and you think you can correct it even though the arrow's long gone.
Long gone, yeah. Yeah, it is definitely something that if you go to any, even if a local archery tournament, you'll see people doing that on the regular, especially on the amateur ranks.
And also some medals to his name. For example, in Rosario 2017, the World Archery Youth.
As we take a look at Steve Weiler's shooting style. Always with a great smile, great personality is Weiler. You know, what's interesting, though, about Kim now on the quicker release, you don't see as much the dramatic follow-through as we normally see with a lot of Korean archers.
Correct.
Recurve archers specifically. All right, so 2 set points apiece. Kim will lead us off. You saw that one, the typical release. What's so interesting about Steve Weiler is that when he is in his rhythm and he gets that arrow through the clicker, it's almost automatic.
He got lucky there. A little bit of a collapse on that. You saw it almost looked like he was going to let down the shot and realized you can't do that in the finals.
10.
Well, I should say you can, but there's not much time.
You're gonna, yeah. With 20 seconds, it is difficult. Ooh, that's a 10-9 liner.
9 or 10.
We're gonna have to take a look at that one. The judges will have a look. This could be an opportunity for Weiler to go up 2 set points.
Dead center for Steve Weiler.
Dead center. I don't think you could tell that. That was a great shot. I don't think you could tell that on his face. I don't think you see, like, his hold was a lot longer. It looks like he couldn't get the arrow through the clicker.
You saw the riser actually move a little bit, the top end, like he was canting a little bit, having trouble with it.
On target number 1.
Yeah, because when you're shooting recurve and you're pulling through it, eventually you're going to get fatigued, even with a 20-second shot clock, I would think.
Oh yeah, especially at his poundage. He's probably shooting 50-ish pounds.
50 pounds. So unlike a compound where you have cams that assist you if you pull through 50, but your holding weight, it's different. It builds and builds and builds with a recurve. So he's holding that 50 pounds
on his fingers
for close to 20 seconds. It looks like the call for Kim's arrow is being called out. So that would mean that Steve Weiler, in his quest for gold, would go up 4 sets to 2. It's confirmed as a 9. And you can see when Weiler let that arrow go, there was only 4 seconds, 3 seconds.
Kim will shoot first on target 1.
Again, 106 matches for Steve Weiler in red and white. it all.
10. 10.
So Kim's going to need to win this set to keep the match alive.
So far, so good.
Perfect score.
Much quicker shot. 12 seconds remaining on that 20-second shot clock. Weiler goes back to full draw at 15 seconds remaining on the clock.
Nine.
And the crowd oohs
Oh, there
with me.
is the pressure shot for Steve Weiler on that third and final arrow. Finally
Steve grabbing a couple of clicks.
A lifeboat of sorts to Kim.
We'll confirm that 9, but that means we're going to go 4-4, be all tied up with our set point system.
4 set points to 4, setting up a tug of war.
I think, Crystal, looking at Steve Weiler's shot versus Kim's shot, there is a distinct difference, isn't there? Kim seems to have more of a finesse shot, and you mentioned that Weiler has more of kind of a power shot.
Correct.
What indicates that to you?
Just the push and pull of you almost see him ripping the bow apart is what it looks like. And he holds a little bit longer, but you just see the muscles working. Versus Kim, it's just a little bit more relaxed. It looks gentle.
So confirmation that we're all tied up at 4-4 after Weiler's 9 was called out. Looking like.
Well, I'm hoping for a tie here so we get a shoot-off. I don't know about you.
So if they split the set, meaning if they tie on score, we'll be at 5 set points apiece. And we're going to go to either one could win it outright with a set win. Kim shoots first.
10.
Perfect 10 to set us off.
So
4 seconds left on that clock.
So for Kim here, it's all about timing. We see when he shoots a faster shot, it's in the middle.
10.
Just like that.
Yep. He doesn't need that perfect release. He needs his timing. It's clear that that's his focus.
Okay, 10-10 apiece. Kim right here can put the pressure on Weiler with a 10. Got it. Wow, what a quick shot. So now it's either we're going to a tiebreaker or Kim wins gold.
Got it. Perfect score.
Perfect score across the board, tied on set points. That means we're 5 set points apiece.
Shoot off.
Shoot off.
30 to 30. We now have ourselves
What does that mean?
Means they're each going to shoot 1 arrow, and it's the closest arrow to the center wins this match.
For gold.
Going all the way down to the wire.
In recurve men indoor archery World Series finals here in Las Vegas, the 2023 edition. And this is exactly the way you want it. The number 9 seed going up against all the arrows in regulation. Now there's going to be fresh target faces hung on the target bale, 18 meters downrange from where these archers stand. Single arrow shoot off, closest to the center wins it all.
At releasing an arrow.
And trust me, the way these two shooters have been shooting, it wouldn't surprise me if they had to break out the calipers to measure.
In Las Vegas, Nevada.
And it looks like Kim is going to lead us off.
It all comes down to this, the moment of truth.
Okay, this for gold,
we've been waiting for.
the Indoor Archery World Series Finals. Seconds on the clock. Timing is everything for Kim.
10.
Now, huge window of opportunity open for Violet. Anything inside out in the 10 ring, and he's got it.
10.
And there it is. Outstanding shot, inside out X for Steve Violet, and gold for Indoor Archery World Series Finals. And Vegas loves it. From the Netherlands, the 26-year-old will hang gold around his neck tonight. How you like that, Crystal?
That was beautiful. That's what you love to see in a shoot-off.
Official, looking at the official target judge validation.
Especially here in the arena, when you know, you hear the PA announcer say what the score is, you hear the crowd, the oohs and the so there is no way to avoid knowing what just happened.
No, and that's why shoot-offs are awesome. You see two types of people. You have those that thrive under that pressure and drill the X, and those that, you know, just come out and shoot their average shot.
So congratulations to Steve Filer on his gold medal. Tim Piljong will take silver, and Nicholas Dimore, your bronze medal match. Well, they came out ready to fight each other. The crowd pleased to see two incredible archers who fought their way through the elimination matches to get to this gold medal match. And these two fought hard all the way down to the end. There were some incredible arrows and a couple disappointments along the way. But when it came down to it, it was all tied up for gold. It brought us to our first shoot-off of the tournament. And it came down to this archer, Steve Violet, who shot that arrow inside out in the X-ring to take gold. Indoor Archery World Series Finals continues to bring the action.
Meters away, roughly 20 yards, but what we're going to see different is the target faces. So the 10 ring is now going to be much smaller, about the size of a dime, versus what we saw on the recurve, that bigger 10 ring.
So the size of a US dime.
And we're also doing total score versus set system.
All right, so cumulative scoring. So every arrow makes a difference in terms of your total towards the end. 15 arrows to be shot, 3 at a time. Total possible score is 150 points.
10.
World number 1 leads us off, and that's a 10. So even though we have the larger ring on the outside, it scores as a 9. So it's just that little ring in the middle.
10.
So these archers also, if they were shooting bigger arrows during the Vegas style tournament, which does allow up to 27 size arrows, they did have to switch tonight for World Archery Rules limits to 23 size diameter arrows. So I know Ella was shooting 27s. She switched down to her 23s for tonight.
10. Ten, 10, 10. Perfect score.
So I think for Gibson, it's that middle arrow is a little low, and that's going to be a call. I think that's a 9. because it'd be a Vegas 10, but we're not shooting. We're shooting World Archery rules here at Indoor Archery World Series Finals.
A perfect way to get us underway with some high-quality shooting on both sides.
We will have a look. Judges will have a look.
10-10-10 for Gibson, 10-10-10 for Roner.
So it looks like that one is going to be out.
Ella Gibson, currently 22 years of age, world number one.
So it should be 1 point advantage for Roner.
And looking at Elisa Roner of Italy, 21 years of age.
A good look at Ella Gibson. And she wasn't a fan of that shot, was she, Crystal?
No, not at all.
The gold medal at 4 different World Cup events. And of course, a silver medalist at the World.
So scores are in. 29 points for Gibson and 30 for Roner, which means that Gibson will lead us off. The archer trailing is the one who starts us off. There'll be a 10-second clock to get to the line and get set, and then a 20-second shot clock. You can see that flashing red on Gibson's side. Elisa Roner today during the Vegas shoot, shooting a 299, just dropping 1 single point on her last arrow of her 9th end. And was not happy. I was shooting on her bail actually when that happened.
Now Ella was the opposite, shot the 299 yesterday and the 300 today.
Another one that's kind of low. He needs to catch that inner line on the smallest circle to get that 10 points.
10.
No question about that shot.
I don't think she caught that either.
Yeah, that one's definitely out 9. All right, so for Elisa, giving a point back to Gibson.
Quite a bit of movement on that front stabilizer, but she managed to put it in the middle.
Rebounding with a 10.
Oh, there it is. Both archers.
So we await that official score, but it looks like 10-9, 10 apiece. We're going to go to 58 total score to 59 for Roner.
Archer Elisa Roner now leading the way 59 to 58. 1 point advantage.
There is a lot of looking going on there
And taking a look at
by the World Archery judge.
All it needs to do is touch that line. It doesn't need to break through the line. It just needs to touch the line to get the higher scoring value.
In the quarterfinals, she beat Rico Ariola, also of the USA, 149 to 148. Roner then defeating Tanya Kellentine of Denmark. The final score there, 147.
Mike Schlusser helping out Ella Gibson.
In the round of 1/8, she beat Marita Paz of Estonia, 147 to 141 before defeating
Ella Gibson not happy with that one.
149 to 147.
Yeah, when you're shooting a compound, if it's not a 10, you're not happy. If Ella scores 1 more point than Canales, we will go to a shoot-off.
All right, let's throw it over to the crowds and show some appreciation, ladies and gentlemen, for
Good look at the release of Elisa Roner. After her big win last night, $10,000, she said that it wouldn't have settled in, and I'm sure at this point, in second night in front of the crowd, and you can see her cracking a smile, she understands the magnitude and the gravity of what's going on. So because, Crystal, of what you said, these archers were kind of shooting in the same spot, World Archery has decided that they're going to change the target faces, make sure it's easy for the judges to make those calls. So brand new target faces are hung.
Yeah, you never want a match decided by a missing line. You really want to have those lines there and be able to make the call.
Ella Gibson will shoot first.
Ella Gibson will shoot first, being the archer who's down 1 point to Elisa Roner. Our final 3 arrows of competition. Gibson just needs 10s. There's no other option for her right now. Perfect start for this final end. A couple arrows away from deciding gold. You can tell with Elisa Roner that off the shot, once it releases, her intent of that bow towards the target a lot of times tells us where it's landing.
Exactly. So that was another really long hold there by Ella.
You can hear just a couple seconds, maybe 1 or 2, horn went off. But the question is that a 9 or a 10? It has a 9 asterisk. Judges call.
9.
That's definitely a 9, however. So that could be the difference.
So we're either 1 point difference still, or
we're tied.
We're tied.
10.
Need a 10 here to guarantee at least a tie.
She got it.
9 or 10. Well, there you have it.
Looks like a 10 to me, but we'll see. So now it's in the hands of the judges.
On the target faces right now. Arrow number 2 for Ella Gibson.
So we have 2 arrows that are 9 asterisks on our board. And those are arrows that are going to be looked at a lot closer. But even if there's no asterisk, it's still not definitive.
Yeah, so the judges are going to be looking at Ella's arrow to see if there's any yellow between that line and her arrow.
So it looked like he pointed down and counted that one down. So it looks like Gibson's is counted as a 9. So if Roner's one of her arrows, the one that's asterisk, is counted as a 10, we have a clear winner.
Well,
and it is. It's official. Elisa Roner, Indoor Archery World Series gold medalist, takes down the world #1, Ella Gibson. What a weekend this archer is having so far.
2 paydays in a row.
Amazing. So the 21-year-old from Italy will stand on the top of the podium with a gold medal around her neck to add to her pool of prizes already collected here at the Vegas Shoot 2023 as Indoor Archery World Series champion. Ella Gibson, silver medalist. And our bronze medal went to Tanya Gelantine, who defeated Linda Ochoa Anderson early. So these athletes came out onto the field of play to the adoration of the crowd, and then it got down to a 15-arrow shoot and just a couple of bobbles here and there for the world #1, Ella Gibson. And it was Elisa Roner who was able to capitalize by a point. And gold medal it is for the Italian on her best trip to the United States. Great shooting and congratulations to our gold medalists. More archery coming.
Congratulations, Elisa. It's been a wonderful competition for you. Yesterday you won the 10K, and today you are the champion of the Indoor World Series. How do you feel?
I feel really great, also because in the past competition I used to shoot very good, but always get away with a 5th place or something like that. So that's a good comeback for me.
You needed to wait for the last call of the arrow. What were your thoughts in that call for the arrow?
I wasn't really watching or hearing what my opponent was shooting because I just wanted to mind myself. And I just thought I have to shoot a 10 like all of the other arrows. Like I wanted to shoot strong in the back.
What are your expectations for the upcoming season, outdoor season?
I hope to shoot my personal best. That's always a goal for me. And I don't really know what to expect, honestly.
Thank you very much and congratulations.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to find out who our fourth and final gold medalist will be tonight. Please welcome the coaches and judges to the field of play.
At the Indoor Archery World Series Finals in Las Vegas, the 2023 edition at the South Point Hotel and Casino. I'm Greg White with Crystal Gavin as we get ready to introduce our final match and our final competitors to the field of play for the compound men's. It's our #1 qualifier versus our #3 qualifier. And coming out is Kyle Douglas versus Bodie Turner. So Kyle Douglas at 25 years old and Bodie Turner still at 15 years old, his final day as a 15-year-old. He will turn 16 years old tomorrow, Crystal. And Bodie Turner has showed us so much, as has Kyle Douglas. This is a match of heavy hitters.
Yeah, we're talking the last 2 years Vegas winners here. Just incredible.
So for Kyle Douglas, he had a big change this year in the offseason, switching to Bowtech. And he's been working really hard to figure that bow out. Crystal, we know the different manufacturers, you can't make it all shoot the same, so you as the archer has to figure it out.
Yeah, and it can take a lot of time, but he came out firing on all cylinders, it seems to be.
So for Bodie Turner, he has burst onto the scene. He started Vegas 2022 as a 14-year-old. He turned 15 on that Saturday and then won Vegas. And a whole pile of money to go with it. And now we see Bodie 2 days left in his 15th year, and today his final. So tomorrow, is he going to celebrate his birthday with a gold medal around his neck, or will our number 47th ranked archer in the world, Kyle Douglas, snatch that away? And like you're saying, the last 3 Vegas championships, this is the representation. Tell us about the field of play, Crystal. What are we doing?
So just like we saw in the last match, we're 18 meters away, those targets, and we're only scoring that inner 10 ring that's about the size of a dime. Each archer is going to shoot 3 arrows each end, and it's total score this time, cumulative scoring. So the highest score wins.
9.
First arrow from Bodie Turner drops it low, possibly a little nerves.
10.
Oof,
Wow.
that's a beauty.
What a great release from Kyle Douglas, too. You saw that bow just jump forward. It's exactly the way he tunes it.
9 or 10.
See another one a little left and a little low. And coming out here, compound, you have your scope, you have your peep. Depending on what you're running, it can be very dark down here in the arena.
All right, so for Bodie Turner, he did grab a click or 2 on his sight, moving it left to try to get it back to the middle.
10, 10, 10.
No problem for Kyle Douglas. So we're going to have to take a look. This could be 2-point advantage for Douglas right out of the box.
For the gold medal out here tonight. The Indoor World Series Finals in Las Vegas.
So for Bodie Turner, he has a little bit of experience in World Archery, coming in as the 118th ranked archer.
Second arrow shot by Bodie Turner.
Bodie tends to stay here in the States and just shoot more as he starts to expand his archery resume.
And both these archers you see with world rankings, you wouldn't have seen that last year because indoors did not count in previous years towards world rankings, only outdoor did. So it's great to see that change. Field, archery, and indoor now counts.
And by the way, there is your bronze medal winner, Chris Schaff, on the right part of your screen. Paige Pierce. Incredible $10,000 win. Inside out arrow against 3 open shooters from the United States, compound open shooters, and sat them all down yesterday. All right, so 58 to 59. Gibson trails by a single point. Her third end of 5.
10.
Great shot. No question about that point value.
Ten.
10 for Verona, maintaining a single point lead.
The one thing you'll notice here, you'll see Ella closing her left eye. You'll see some compound shooters doing that. Versus here, we have both eyes open. So you can shoot a compound both ways and be successful.
10. Perfect score.
Okay, now it seems like Gibson is starting to find her rhythm. Back tension release. Aid for the Italian.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
And a nice shot, another 10-10-10. So even with the pressure that Gibson put on, Roner still maintaining that 1-point lead.
After end number 3 for Elisa Roner of the nation of Italy. Once again.
And of course, it's important to understand that, you know, I have seen people come to this tournament with 3 arrows because you only shoot 3. You've got to make sure if you're going to be shooting as well as these athletes are at the Indoor Archery World Series Finals, you got to bring at least 9 with you.
Well, you need 6.
You need 6 minimum because you shoot them, they pull them, and then they bring them back to you.
Before Ella Gibson walked away with a win.
That's why you always read the rules.
Always read the rules. Here at the South Point Hotel and Casino, we're shooting for gold in the Indoor Archery World Series Finals. A lot of people know Ella Gibson, world #1. But I think for fans in the United States, this is the coming out party for Elisa Roner from Italy. On the main stage here yesterday, first woman to win the 10K a day shoot-off. Shoot a perfect 300.
Not the first. Sarah Preels, who's in the box for Ella, has done it in the past.
10.
But talking about, you know, her coming out party, it really, that's the great thing about indoor archery on the world stage is anyone can go to any of the indoor World Cups. You don't have to make your country's team.
9.
You just sign up and you go. And so you really see it's an opportunity for young shooters or up-and-coming shooters to really make a name for themselves.
Elisa Roner coming in at the young age of 21.
I think she's put 5 arrows in the exact same hole.
It's really incredible.
10.
All right, so a 10 here is going to extend Roner's lead to 2 points.
Nine.
She dropped it.
Yeah, you could see a little bit of movement there before the shot. She was fighting it.
Definitely. So Roner's got 118 points out of a possible 120 to this point. Ella Gibson at 117. So it's still a single point with one final end to go. How would we end up in a shoot-off in compound archery? Her Bowtech teammate, Kyle Douglas.
Kyle Douglas going to do whatever he can to
What do you see on that shot with Bodie?
To 29, as that second arrow was adjudged to be a 10. So moving into end number 2.
I just look at the ease of that release and how still that bow is on the release of the shot.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shot there by Kyle.
Sorry. So it turns out that Bodie caught a 10. So it's 30 to Douglas, 29 for Turner. Turner will lead us off as the trailing archer, 20-second shot clock.
10.
Caught the top of that inner ring. Now he'll make a sight adjustment.
10.
Wow. I mean, right now for Kyle Douglas, it looks fluid. It looks easy.
Effortless.
There's the middle for Turner.
10.
So a little bit of a punch there.
A little bit of a, yeah, for sure.
10, 10, 10. Perfect score.
So perfect score for Bodie Turner as he figures out his Hoyt Invicta, getting it dialed in.
9 or 10. Too close to call.
So that one's pretty close. Starting to drift it out a little right in the last 2.
It could be right on the line. So from my vantage point,
It looks like Tate Morgan in the coach's box
Yep.
for Kyle Douglas. And for Bodie Turner, it's his dad,
However, Bodie Turner,
Joel Turner, with shot IQ.
now if it is a 9, we have ourselves a tie after 6 arrows
So
and 59.
Bodie Turner, without question, he's got 30 points. The question is Kyle Douglas. If it's counted as a 9, we're 59 points apiece, and we're all tied up after 2 ends.
I think I heard him say that it's yes.
It's confirmed as a 9, yep. All right, so we're all tied up. Out of 60 possible points, each archer has shot and scored 59. So we go into our third of 5 ends. If you're new to archery, there's a set number of arrows that are shot at a time. In this particular case, it's 3. Once those are shot, shooting stops, they're scored. That is called an end in archery. So when we refer to that, now you know.
Each archer with 20 seconds to shoot their shot.
15-year-old Bodie Turner.
10.
And he's starting to get that look in his face. When he gets into a rhythm, this archer is hard to beat.
10.
Kyle's starting to get away from the middle a little bit. We're seeing 2 opposite trends.
9.
Oof.
Yeah, so in the first end, we saw Kyle very relaxed on that trigger with his thumb. Now we see a little bit of space and then get a little closer.
9.
And as a result, we're seeing some 9s. He needs to just take a deep breath right now, recollect himself.
10.
So a 10 for Turner.
10.
Yeah. And see, that was the shot that we saw the first 3.
Oh, there it is.
Nice and relaxed. Okay, so we're going toe-to-toe here. Still tied up. 10-9, 10 for each archer. We're going to go to 88 points after our... And for Kyle, look at that thumb. Yeah. In archery, that's called a punch. And Kyle will tell you he is a puncher. He doesn't shy away from it. We have a few top archers in the world right now that are punchers, and it works for you. Of course, people that are committed to the hinge release or the surprise shot, if you will, often will tell you, oh, the punch only lasts a while. However, Kyle Douglas has been on a roll for year after year now. And his shot, when it's timed perfect, and when he gets it centered, and when he gets his thumb on that barrel, Kyle Douglas has one of the greatest shot executions that we've seen.
Yeah, the key for him is that timing and just being relaxed through the shot.
Turner starts us off.
10.
Good 10.
Yep. Again, you see him clicking his sight. Both of those were high. Gives it a couple clicks. You'll see a lot of sight adjustments in compound.
10.
That was a beauty.
Yes.
Another inside out.
10, 10, 10. Perfect score.
I don't know.
9 or 10.
What did we see there? What did you just see him do?
We saw him go to punch it,
That is
not punch it, and then punch it.
Yeah, it just wasn't quite there, and we thought he had it for a moment. The other thing I saw too was, and there is air that moves around here. Did you notice that just before the shot he blinked?
Yep.
We see it with recurve archers. We don't see it as much with compound, do we?
No, no. If you watched the exhibition match earlier, you saw Catalina just blinking, blinking, blinking. Whereas these compound shooters, you just see the eyes staring at that target, staring it down.
And it's so it's definitely out. So Kyle Douglas now is going to be 1 point down. Here's Kyle's 9.
Winner of the Vegas shoot back in 2022. Winner of the Rush
Yeah.
Rumble.
He knew it on the release and looks up. There is a jumbotron above these archers, by the way, and they're far enough back where they can look up and see when the camera's showing their target, and they see what's going on.
Number 5 with Kyle Douglas getting us underway.
All right, less than 3 hours left in Bodie Turner's 15-year-old year, however you're going to say that. Can he close this out with the Indoor Archery World Series final gold medal for compound men?
Back to his shot.
Yeah, we all felt that one. Nope.
And he knew it.
Yeah. He launched that one. I think his thumb was in Arizona.
How many 15-year-olds could say they're shooting off for this kind of money?
And a 10 for Bodie Turner. He just really has to hit gold. He does it with a 10. So Bodie Turner wins gold at the Indoor Archery World Series Finals, celebrating with his dad and a handshake from Kyle Douglas. And wow, after a rocky start, little shaky for Bodie Turner, he really settled into it and took a convincing win, 148 to 146. And what a way to sign off his 15th year as he's going to celebrate his 16-year-old birthday tomorrow. Incredible stuff from the young Bodie Turner. People would often say he's the future of U.S. compound archery, but the future is here. What's going through his head right now? Pretty incredible.
He can't celebrate too much tonight though, because he has another 300 to shoot tomorrow.
He certainly does, with $57,000 on the line in trying to repeat his Bodie Turner. So these two athletes came out into the Preferred Arena, ready for battle. 150 points on the line, 15 arrows shooting at 18 meters downrange. It was up and down. It started a little rocky for Bodie Turner, as things were picture perfect for Kyle Douglas, and then a couple got away from him. And it was this young man, after that one, looked like for a moment that it might have been in the 9, but it caught the 10, and it was clear sailing to the end with a perfect 30. So it's Bodie Turner who will stand on top of the podium as Indoor Archery World Series champion.